Every intention of coming on here and preaching to you guys about my thoughts on the situation with DaBaby and Danny Lee, okay? But I have just decided that, listen, all I'm gonna say about that whole situation is yes, we know that Danny has had her problematic ways. Yes, we know that the baby mama has had her ways as well. Yes, we know that DaBaby can be an asshole, very clearly so, in these last few months of the way he's been moving and operating around. Everybody plays their part in this situation, okay? But what I can never do is, yeah, we tee-hee-hee and kiki it up and all about relationships, women who might sit around blindly and stupidly as they try to be there for a nigga who obviously wants to be there with them and a whole bunch of other people as well. And we have a whole lot to say about it, but one thing I'm not ever going to do, and I'm sure you guys know this about me already, is I just cannot kick a bitch when she's down like this, okay? The fact that he treated her the way that he did on that social media, it just bothered me. It's never a time where I feel like I could aha a woman, even if they've made some really bad and stupid decisions when it came to a man, and we didn't agree with them. I just couldn't do that, you guys. It's just not cool. This is real life, and clearly DaBaby has made that girl feel like, now she just, even though she was out there acting in the way she was doing and moving and saying things about the baby mama and all of that, he clearly was at least supporting the way that she felt when they was together for the time that we saw them together. You know, they had songs together, and, you know, she was making her music about being a yellow bone, and that's what he wanted, and he was making a song about her being a masterpiece. Okay, so all that wasn't just, you know, she wasn't just coming up with that shit on her own. DaBaby was gaslighting her and telling her that she was the one for however long it was. Now, I had told you guys a while ago that I really did like him because it seemed like he was trying to be an honest man and being there with the baby mother. I'm sorry, her name is Mimi. I can't remember what her name is. Okay, no disrespect, but I admire the fact that he was there for her. They had a kid together. She had a child already that he took care of as well. He seemed to very much be present and involved in both of those relationships as a father and as a mate. And I liked that. You don't see that too often in hip hop, right? But then, sure enough, the shit was starting to fall apart, and supposedly he had done got somebody pregnant, and, you know, all of this other shit started to happen, which is par for the course for a lot of these rappers. And, you know, DaBaby did get to be very large and a very well-known rapper, and you know, was headed for superstardom. And sometimes when things like that happen, it goes off the rails, because now they believe their own bullshit, and now they become a different person, and the relationships suffer and things like that. Okay, so all that happens, right? But so yes, he was with the Mimi girl from it looks like. He looked like he was still dibbling and dabbling with Danny, and now this whole situation where he puts her out with their child, kicks her out of the house that they've been living together, just all of a sudden let her tell it. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but it still wasn't cool. I just don't like to see that kind of stuff on social media. I just don't. I'm not gonna ever be okay with a man being that way with a woman. Okay, the shit was disgusting. And it was even more disgusting the fact that she wanted to plead her case and try to still be explained. Girl, we already know. How many of us have had fucked up ass relationships? Okay, I can tell you guys a story. I won't put it out there because I have kids and they don't need to be, you know, this kind of shit don't need to be out there. But I have had a guy, I've never been physically abused or nothing, but I've had a guy, one guy, talk to me so bad. I'm talking about say some of the most horrible things to me. And let me tell you, It might have took a while for Roxanne to finally get it, but when the nigga said what he said to me, that was when the light bulb went off. I was like, oh no, now I know good and damn well my mama and daddy ain't raised me to be putting up with this kind of shit. I ain't never seen my dad talk to my mom like this. Okay? And what the fuck I do know is, as much as I claim to love somebody, ain't no way I could sit here and let somebody talk to me the way that this person did and still be okay with going back. So that was the end of it. And it was hard to break off. I wanted to be around that person. I still wanted to talk to them. I wanted all of that to still continue. But it's something about when the shit finally breaks and when it finally makes sense to you that you don't need to be around this, then that and only then is when you will make the move to get the fuck out of that. I felt like I didn't know myself. Okay. Like I felt like I couldn't trust my judgment, you know, that I would choose somebody that would talk to me that way. And maybe that's why I feel so strongly about, like, even though when me and Mr. get into arguments, there's just certain lines that I just never want to cross. But the sad thing about it is I'm not sure that Dani is there. Okay. You know, she seems to be out, you know, time will tell. Right now, she's not there with him no more, but that wasn't because of her own choice. It didn't seem like anyway. It seemed like he was putting her out, you know? It wasn't like she had her own and she was like, oh, I'm leaving your ass. I got a place that I can go to, blah, 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 blue, you know? And so that's the sad part. I mean, it's a lesson in all of that, you know? Yes, sometimes we got to go through the shit before we see the shine. You know, sometimes we gotta, the bad got to happen before the good can come about and we can appreciate it, you know? So she may still be in that stage of trying to figure out, and this is the same for Mimi, because now they're saying that she might be pregnant, you know, by him, and this whole sister wife thing, this competition between the two of them, you know? And at the end of the day, you got this one man who's got all these women, you know, fighting and running around each other and all of this, and he is just still being able to do what he wants to do. It is just never good, you guys. So, yes, knock down a few pegs of the baby. But like I said, he's been moving suspect, and I ain't been liking it recently. But this one here definitely made me feel a certain kind of way. So, yeah, I'm not okay with that. Okay, maybe Dani has learned the hard way that you let that nigga gas your head up and pump you up and make you think you was something, and really at the end, what are you really to him? Okay, keep on living. My grandma Rose out there, she used to always say it, keep on living. And I'm telling you, as you live and you learn, then you know not to make them mistakes again, or you try hard not to. I mean, you know, people are human. People make mistakes, but you try hard and at least not to make that same mistake again. So I hope that's what happens with the two of them. But what y'all thought about that whole situation? Wasn't it terrible? Just awful. All right, you guys, next story. So remember when I told y'all that we didn't know what the hell Porsha Williams was going to be talking about in this memoir that is supposed to be coming out about her life? Well, it seems that Porsha has been holding on to a story or two to make sure that she included it in her book so that you guys would indeed purchase and read it, okay? And the one situation that I'm talking about is that leaked yesterday is an encounter or two or three that she had with R. Kelly. All right. So it seems like back in 2007, I'm going by memory on that because I didn't put it in my notes, but I believe she said around 2007, she was pursuing her musical career. I was just like, oh, you were serious about that. Could have blew me over with a feather, bitch. She was pursuing her musical career, and she had an opportunity to meet R. Kelly. So he flew her out to Chicago. She was thinking that she was going to be meeting him at the studio and that they would discuss her music career, maybe the direction of him being involved in it would go, but instead she was taken to his home. Okay. She was put into one of his bedrooms, and she said she sat there for some hours. Now, bitch, now you must really, really want this career, because first of all, it's R. Kelly. And I mean, in the back of our mind, we got to know. Maybe it was different in 2007. I got to try to remember where we was with it in 2007. Okay, she was young, dumb. Okay, like I said, we've all made mistakes, so we ain't gonna hold her to it. But she was sitting in there for some hours. Finally, when R. Kelly came, he ordered her to take off her clothes. And she said that she felt like she had put herself in this situation, that she knew it was R. Kelly, that she's at his house, she's in his bedroom, she's waiting for hours. Well, she's got to do what the man has told her to do. So she did, okay? The book goes on to say that she had 2 or 3 more encounters with him before she finally called it quits. They don't tell us, at least not in the blogs, maybe it's in the book, but they don't tell us whether or not, the shit went down. But suffice it to say that I think we can assume that her and Robert was not sitting in his bedroom while she was naked and they was going through the scales, okay? So, you have to make your own, you come up with your own shit on that. But yeah, you guys, so Porsha did tell that story to the investigators as his case that was going on. I don't know if she'll be involved in, because doesn't he have a case in Chicago that's coming up? Because it happened at his home in Chicago, maybe she'll be involved in that case. Like, I don't know. Okay, but she did give that story to them, and now she is letting us all know about it in her memoir. Okay, people are saying, why did she wait? Listen, people wait to tell their stories for many, many reasons. One is because the number one reason, I'm sure, is because they're afraid people won't believe them. Okay, so I don't know why people still ask that question. It's obvious. People don't want to be judged. It's a big star, but see, Porsha is also a well-known celebrity as well. So maybe she feels more comfortable now. She has more support. People, support her and want to be there for her. So, I mean, it could be many, many reasons why she didn't say anything. But she's saying something now. And again, her book will be coming out soon. Will you guys be reading it? I don't know if I'm really that interested, but will you be reading it? All right, you guys, next story. So Ashanti and her sister, side note, you guys, before I even get started the story, the sister's story about domestic violence and being beat up and broken jaw, and the pictures and everything that she talked about, and a relationship she was with. She was engaged to a man that just beat her. And anyway, she's now involved in the whole fight against domestic violence, but that's not what this story is about. But yeah, our prayers up to the sister, because if you guys saw that video and heard the conversation that was had about that, just awful, you guys. But anyway, this story actually is about Ashanti and the fact that she was being interviewed by Angie Martinez. And she let Angie know that she is going to be re-recording her albums so that she would have control of her masters. It seems that she doesn't have, like many, many artists, when they sign that initial deal, everybody's hungry. Everybody wants to be a part of something. Murder Inc. was a big label. She was going to be like the queen of Murder Inc. She was one of their top artists as well, but, between her and Ja Rule. So she signed on, and I'm sure she made off very well. She was also a writer, so she did well. But the masters, child, the masters, you got to own your masters. It's hard for people to sign to deals like that when they just want to get their shit out there. Okay. But now we know that that's important. Well, she doesn't have her masters. So her solution to this is redoing the albums. And that way now she owns the masters of these new redone songs, and she can make her money. Well, IrvGotti was upset about that, as I think most people who own the masters would. All right. I just don't know why IrvGotti still be feeling the need to say these things, but he goes out and he tells Angie Martinez, who I'm sure already knew this. I mean, it's just common sense, but he still says, oh, this is Ashanti's attempt to take money out of my pocket, that I own those masters. Those are my masters. And, you know, we created magic back then. And, you know, here now she wants to redo these songs, and that's cool. She can do that. But, you know, he had a problem with the fact that she was doing something like this. You know, it's clear that he still has, like, he's salty with Ashanti, because that's already a known fact what he said. But, you know, they have their bad blood between the two of them. But yeah, this is what she is doing. As much as IrvGotti gets on my nerves, I have to agree with him when he says it'll be interesting to see what this music sounds like that she redoes. Now, you guys know that she cannot redo those songs exactly the way that they are. You know, the original ones that we've all grown to know and love, she can't redo the songs exactly like that, okay? Because now you got copyright issues. So she's got to change them up enough where we kind of know. I'm sure she can keep the words, but you can't keep the music, evidently. So we kind of know what the song is, but it's got to be close enough to the song where we would know what the song is, but it's got to be very different from the song so that she don't get pulled into some court cases about her stealing her own fucking song from Murder Inc., right? So I don't know how that's going to work, you guys. You know, even though Lauryn Hill's issues is a little different, it's still the same where Lauryn Hill doesn't perform her songs from the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. She doesn't perform the songs the same. So when you go to her concert, you hear it and it's a little jarring. You want to hear what you fell in love with on the album, and now you got to listen to her change it up, speed up. It's more frantic, it's sped up, it's different, the melodies are different, and all of that, just because she's not trying to do it exactly. From what I understand, she can't perform it the way that it was, or something like that. So it's going to be the same thing. Like, are you guys really going to be checking? I know everybody is all, okay, from now on, we just listening to Ashanti's version. But the reality is are you looking for a new version of Foolish? Baby, 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 baby. Okay, rock with you. Like, how are these songs going to sound? We like the old version, not the new version, but we don't know what the new version is. So we'll reserve our feelings about it until the new version comes out. But I'm telling you, it may not work. It may not be. I mean, she has her hardcore fans, and those people are going to support. But I'm just wondering if the general audience is going to be as accepting of these new versions of these songs that are really now classics, you know? So we'll see. We'll see. But that's where it is with Ashanti. She said, bitch, you're going to give me my money one way or the other. I'm going to redo all these damn songs, and then I'll tell you what. Okay, you guys, so the 34-day protest between the Howard University students and the administration at Howard University has come to an end. The students were preferring to live in tents. You know, they had named it hashtag Tent City outside of, what was the name of the center? I'm sorry, I didn't put it in my notes. I'll put it on the screen here. But the students had taken over a center, like a student center, on the Howard University campus, preferring to stay out there in tents instead of living in the deplorable housing situations at Howard University. Okay, but it seems that they have come to an agreement after negotiations with the president of the university, and that now they have agreed, I guess through these negotiations, what they can and cannot do. It seems to be good for the students, and like I said, after 34 days, it has now come to an end. One of the girls that organized this whole thing, she was an 18-year-old girl. I just saw her she was on something, they were interviewing her, but she said she was surprised that the president eventually talked to him, because they seemed to be just like gung-ho at not speaking with these students. I guess they didn't think that they were serious. Okay, this girl did say that it was very hard. She was like, every day it's fucking cold. It's almost winter time. We in DC, is freezing. I gotta stay in a damn tent trying to prove a point, trying to make sure that, you know, our voices are heard. She was like, plenty of days she ain't want to do it. She had to talk to herself and be like, damn it, it's bigger than me. This is not just about Howard. It's not just about, you know, what she wants, but HBCUs in general. Okay. And I told you guys, that's why I wore my shirt today, in solidarity with these HBCUs, that them dorms, for the majority, there are some of you guys who chimed in and told me that your dorms at your specific HBCUs were really nice, but in general, they aren't. Okay. And, you know, I just think that is great that these kids actually, you know, put their foot down and said they wasn't going to accept it. And they were threatening legal action. And I think that's really why the president finally did come around, because I think they saw that it was heading to litigation. And the kids obviously had a lot of steam behind them. It's been all over social media, and people were going to get involved. That was going to make Howard University, which is a prestigious HBCU, it wasn't going to show them in the best light. Okay. So now the president has come out and said that they will be taking the tents down, and that they've reached a settlement. And, you know, we don't know exactly what those agreements are, that they are going to be releasing those details soon. But he said that Howard University is committed to providing safe and high-end housing for their students. I said, oh, high-end. We done went from deplorable to high-end. Maybe you can just give everybody, you know, something that's nice so that you can hit more people. They can all be in there and be safe. And we don't need high end. We just need it to be right. Okay. Don't get too fancy, because then you're going to say you ain't got enough money, and we're going to be having the same problem some years down the road. Let's just make sure that everybody has doesn't have mold coming out of their mattresses, that doesn't have fecal matter from rats and roaches and all kind of other shit, black mold growing and all that. Let's just make sure that we don't give them that. Let's make sure that our kids that go to these schools, you know, can get through the 4 years, hopefully, without coming up with some lifelong ailment that, you know, keeps them from thriving. Let's just say that. Okay. But congratulations to the students. I'm happy to hear that they stuck it out, and that they meant what they said and said what they meant, and that they got what they wanted. Congratulations to you. All right, you guys, next story. So Travis Scott, just a follow up on this, because we talked about it last week in depth. There's been 125 people that was involved in the tragedy there at the concert, that have put in a lawsuit for $750 million. We almost at $1 billion just for this one lawsuit. I guess it's considered a class action lawsuit. They will be suing Travis Scott. They're going to be suing Drake, Live Nation, Apple, the operators of the NRG park venue, and also the security team and the medical staff that was hired to work at that venue. All them folks is named in this lawsuit. We knew that the lawsuits were coming. Right now we are up to 10 people that have died from, you know, what happened at Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival. The whole story is just terrible and is a mess. And we knew that these lawsuits were coming. I'm sure that Travis Scott, I'm sure all them people that's involved, that's been named in that lawsuit, is got to be quite a bit of stress. Okay. The lawyer who filed this filing, his name is Tony Busby. He says that he has another lawsuit that he's going to be filing very soon with 100 more people that were affected in this tragedy. So it is going to be a lot of people that are suing. And I don't know who gonna pay all this money, but 100 more people. I mean, this shit can bankrupt people. So that situation is bad all the way around. Somebody has to pay for it. It was a lot of balls that's dropped, and people lost their lives or were severely injured because of it. So we just gonna sit back and watch. But y'all, it's a lot. It's not good. It's not good. I would hate to be any of those people that I named, but most namely, I would hate to be Travis Scott right now, because I'm sure his nights have to be sleepless, and I'm sure his days is full of stress. But we can't forget about the victims, especially the 10 who will not be here to have stressful nights, days, or anything else in their lives. So especially that 9-year-old who just, so sad, so sad, you guys. So yeah, I'm sure I'll be letting you guys, I'll be updating you more and more about that lawsuit. There's gonna be more to come. All right, you guys, it seems that on Christmas Day, there will be a new name and a new logo for the Staples Center. It will be unveiled on Christmas Day. It seems that Crypto.com, a company that's based in Singapore, paid $700 million on a naming rights deal. And even though we've been used to it being the Staples Center since, I mean, they said 23 years. All right. So right around the time that me and Mr. got together, for, you know, when we got married and whatnot, that seems about right, when the Staples Center opened. Well, it won't be the Staples Center any longer. The end of an era. It will now be Crypto.com, which is strange. It's strange, but I mean, these things happen. It was the same thing like when the Forum then all of a sudden became the Great Western Forum. Okay, it was always the Forum, and now all of a sudden, you know, so you get these sponsorships. They want to have their names plastered all over everything. They pay big money to be able to do so. And yeah, that's what's happening now. So Crypto.com says that they are very excited about working together with you know, this new venture. They're going to be working with the Lakers and the Kings, the hockey team there that's based in Los Angeles as well. You may ask, what happened to the Clippers and the LA Sparks? Well, they are only going to be there for a couple more years. It seems that they will be getting a new stadium built for them, $1.2 billion stadium in Inglewood. Okay, so they're going to be going back to the Inglewood area. The Lakers and the Kings are going to stay downtown at the now Crypto.com Center, I guess we're going to call it. And yeah, y'all, like I said, end of an era. Okay, had some good times at the Staples Center, y'all. Good times at the Laker games and good times at the concerts. And yeah, it's like I said, end of an era. End of an era, you guys. But I guess all things must come to an end. All good things must come to an end. So, yep, Christmas Day. We'll see what Crypto.com got to say for themselves. You guys wanted to know how I felt about Silk Sonic? Yeah, I just had to listen to it loud in my car, and then I was like, oh, yes. Instant love. I love Fly Like Me. Child, that is my jam. But the album is good. It's quality. It's great music put together. I love the way that the syncopation, you know, they go up in scale and down. And I just really feel like both Anderson and Bruno are true musicians. And I'm happy that the album came out, and I wish it was more songs on there, but that'll do. I'm not sure if they're going to have another one, if this is just a one-time thing or what, but I'm going to appreciate the album for what it's worth. What did you guys think about the Silk Sonic album? Did you like it? And all right, you guys, let me get off of here. I got to get back to work. All right, we do this every single week. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back.